So I feel this needs to be said. There are many different kinds of trainers. Some are positive reinforcement trainers that are against any kind of negative reinforcement, and that works with a lot of dogs a lot of times with very little issue. The worst thing you get is if it doesn't work, you end up with a fat dog. And they may still be grumpy. Not a bad deal. Then there is more balanced trainers that know how to use the treats, the tools like the prong collars and the e-collars. And then there's the dipshit trainers that only use correction. They only know how to use a goddamn e-collar or a goddamn prong collar, and they don't know anything else. They can't read dog body language. They can't even read a book about dogs without getting confused. And they think they're the cat's meow when it comes to training dogs. But all they are ultimately doing is abusing dogs, forcing stressed out situations so they can correct the animal for doing something bad with never teaching them or telling them or in any way informing them of the correct behavior. These are the trainers that need to be ousted from dog training, point blank, period. They do more harm than good and damage the trainers that do know how to use the tools appropriately. They damage the tools and they damage the dogs, and they need to be ousted from dog training permanently, point blank, period. And there are a few of them that are going to be watching this that know exactly who they are, and they know they shouldn't be doing this because they are allowing their ego and their need for narcissistic approval to get the better of them. And it comes out against the dogs. They take their need to have a big ego and this big attitude and this little person syndrome, and they go after the dogs. They mislabel them because they have never done any research on dog body language or dog behavior. So every dog they see falls under the category of dominant, super dominant, or some other version of the term dominant, or they call them some other humanized version of being obstinate. And it's bullshit. Anybody that works with dogs, it's a professional dog trainer that has done any studying into the dog psychology, dog behavior, or any of the above, knows that most dogs, 99.9% of them, are not dominant, will not be dominant, and could not be qualified as dominant. The likeliness of any trainer running into a dominant dog is so extraordinarily slim, it's amazing. So you know a trainer is full of crap when you see that every dog they work with, or every other dog they work with, is labeled as being some level of dominant. It means they don't understand what they're doing, and they need to leave the training business up to the people that have done the research and have spent the time to learn the dogs, and not just throw labels that they do not understand at dogs that they do not understand. And those of you who are watching this and know who you are, please leave the dogs alone. Take your ego somewhere else before you get an innocent individual injured because of your bad technique and your egotistical BS. Get out of the dog business. You're not welcome and you're not wanted. You do more harm than good, and you give everybody else that knows what they're doing, they can use all the tools, a bad reputation.